everyone, welcome to the Explainer. So today we are tackling a really massive milestone in the world of smart manufacturing. If you've been following along with industrial automation, you know that getting machines to actually communicate and generate raw data was the very first big hurdle. But here's the reality check. We've become almost too good at collecting data. Modern factories are literally drowning in it. Today, we're exploring the ultimate gatekeeper that transforms a chaotic flood of raw data into actual, intelligent manufacturing. We're talking about edge computing. We're going to see exactly how this architecture works, why it saves a massive amount of money, and how it actually perfectly complements the cloud.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll kick things off with a highly requested bilingual course introduction. Then, we'll define exactly what edge computing is. Third, we'll explore this fascinating concept of the relative edge. Fourth, we'll hit the 4 core values. And finally, we'll look at edge versus cloud.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, our bilingual course introduction.
For our international learners, we've got our concise bilingual breakdown to start us off. I'll read out the English overview for you now. This course demystifies edge computing in smart factories. As factories collect massive raw data, sending it all to the cloud causes congestion and high costs. Edge computing acts as a gatekeeper, processing data near the source. We explore how each factory level, like ERP, MES, and IIoT, serves as the edge for the level above. You will learn its 4 core values: fast response, saving over 70% of costs, stable operations, and smart on-site solutions. Ultimately, discover how edge and cloud work together to transform basic data collection into true intelligent manufacturing.
Moving right along to Section 2, let's actually define edge computing.
So with that summary fresh in our minds, let's really pin down what we're dealing with here. We don't set up the industrial Internet of Things, or IIoT, just to endlessly hoard data. We do it to actually use that data. Think of edge computing kind of like a bouncer at a super exclusive club. It deploys computing resources right at the front door, right next to the machine or the sensor. So instead of indiscriminately uploading every single raw parameter to a central system or cloud, this smart gatekeeper analyzes the data right there on the factory floor. It only lets the VIP data, the truly meaningful stuff, through to the central cloud.
Now for Section 3, the relative edge.
Now, what's really fascinating about this setup is that the edge isn't just one physical box sitting next to a conveyor belt. It's actually a completely relative concept. Just look at how the factory data hierarchy breaks down. Up at the top at level 4, you've got your ERP system that cares about big picture of business metrics like production progress and material loss. Right below that at level 3 is the MES, the manufacturing execution system, that tracks work in progress times, quality control, and machine alarms. Dropping down to level 2, we see the IoT and SCADA systems, dealing with process starts and high-frequency data. And finally, down at the ground floor, level 1, you have the actual equipment interfaces pumping out all those complex raw parameters.
Because of this layered hierarchy, the edge is totally relative. Think about an ERP system running at a corporate headquarters, managing, say, 10 different factories. It absolutely does not need the raw data of every single machine on every single floor. For the ERP, the MES acts as its edge filter, just sending up summarized data. And it works the exact same way further down. If you threw thousands of raw machine parameters a second directly at the MES, it would literally crash. So the IIoT system acts as the edge filter for the MES, only passing along the relevant event triggers and alarms. Basically, every single layer acts as a gatekeeper for the layer above it.
Which brings us to Section 4, the 4 core values.
All right, now that we know exactly where this gatekeeper sits, let's uncover why it is an absolute game changer. There's a specific rule of 4 when it comes to the superpowers of this architecture. First up is fast. By processing logic right at the machine or IoT level, you get millisecond or second-level real-time feedback. You catch issues instantly. Second is save. We totally avoid blindly dumping massive amounts of raw information into really expensive data lakes. Third is stable. Imagine your corporate external network goes down. No problem. A decentralized edge architecture means the factory's internal systems just keep running smoothly on their own. And fourth is smart. It empowers the factory floor to solve production efficiency problems locally, without having to sit around waiting for corporate enterprise software to tell them what to do.
And I really want to emphasize that save aspect for a second. By implementing proper edge computing and filtering data before it ever leaves the factory floor, companies can save over 70%. Yes, 70% in network bandwidth, cloud storage fees, hard drives, and DRAM costs.
When you're running a smart factory with hundreds or maybe even thousands of machines, that 70% reduction in data bloat, that is a massive financial and operational victory.
All right, let's wrap things up with Section 5, Edge versus Cloud.
This brings us to a really critical point. A lot of people out there seem to think edge computing is designed to just kill off the cloud entirely. But actually, it's not a competition at all. It's a perfect division of labor. The edge is your boots on the ground. It handles immediate, high-efficiency execution and filtering right where the action happens. And because the edge handles all that noise, it frees up the cloud to do what it does best. The cloud, sitting safely at headquarters, can now focus on high-level, big data analysis, long-term trend forecasting, and driving corporate strategy. It's a perfect harmony. To kind of summarize the core philosophy of our source material today, data collection is really just the plumbing. Edge computing, on the other hand, is the catalyst for your true competitiveness in smart manufacturing. It's the mechanism that takes all that raw, chaotic data and actually turns it into structured, actionable intelligence. It is the final critical mile in building a true smart factory. So I want to leave you with this to think about. Take a hard look at your own system architecture. Are you just blindly hoarding raw data and paying an absolute premium for it? Or are you smartly utilizing the edge to filter, analyze, and genuinely move toward intelligent manufacturing? It's a fundamental shift in strategy, and honestly, it's one you just can't afford to ignore. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to decode the technologies shaping our world.